And I was convinced, oh, nah, my life don't mean nothing now. Because the thing that made people think Mod was a somebody was the game. So now when I can't attach myself to the game, it's like,
who am I?
And I didn't know, Jay, for years.
Let's go. I stay fit head to toe. I'm knocking down all of my goals. I'm a young professional. You're now watching that friendship and flow. Let's go. I stay.
What's up, friends? Welcome to another episode of Friendship and Flow. And today, I bring in a real good friend of mine, longtime friend, teammate, and former player, man. So with that said, let's get into it, y'all. Let's welcome my good man, Dr. Lawrence Sidbury. What's up, Brody?
Junior.
Oh, Junior, my bad. And obviously, I can't go without introducing my right-hand man, my good man, Ramad Powell, joining the gang today. And it wouldn't be fitting without having you here because you two were in the trenches together, making each other better, and, you know, went on to play D1 ball. So I think that's very fitting to have y'all both here. So,
We try to make you better.
Listen, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Y'all, welcome to Friendship and Flow, man. Let's get into it.
Let's get to it. Yes, sir.
Hey, that's what's up, though, man. Listen, I was out of position, all right? I wasn't supposed to be the quarterback. I was supposed to be playing receiver.
You know, most black schools don't got quarterbacks. We all running. It's good for right now, right? You know.
Nah, new quarterbacks, they real quarterbacks now. Yeah. Back then, we had to switch 3 people around to play one position. But we ain't gonna get into all of that. We do not need to get into the Oxon Hill days at all.
Let's
leave those days.
We got to talk about where we came from at some point. But go ahead. Yes, sir.
We definitely gonna get there. But they don't want to hear about that. All right, man. So we got a way we start off the show. Little icebreaker. It's called Let It Flow or Let It Go. It's like a rapid fire. So you tell us which one you keeping, which one you letting go. All right, let it flow, let it go. So you been in Atlanta for a minute now. You are pretty much a resident. You don't even claim us no more. So we going basketball. Hawks or Wizards?
I'm tempted to say neither, but I'm gonna say Hawks.
Wow, you gonna go with neither? You ain't gonna go with the Hawks? Crazy work.
You know, I ain't really got an NBA team. I just a fan of the game. I just like to watch. So
I respect that. Yeah. I respect that. So while we on the NBA, give us 2 NBA players that you think got next and 2 past legends that you think are still getting disrespected.
2 people that got next?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go to 2 obvious. Anthony Edwards. I don't know. He don't want to be the face.
He's gonna be it.
Obviously, you know I know what's crazy about A. Man, when I was playing with the Falcons, man, he used to play football for this youth team called the Atlanta Falcons. One of the coaches, we used to get our hair cut by the same dude. Matter of fact, my barber, when I first got to Atlanta, his name Kedar, he used to cut my hair at Cody's and Iverson Mall. But he moved to Atlanta while we were still in Oxon Hill. And then when I got drafted, he was already there. So, long story short, I used to go over there and like talk to the team and spend time, but this go to show you don't never know who people gonna be coming. It was him and Isaiah Collier was on the team too. I mean, all those kids that was out there then, they all D1 athletes now.
That's what's up. That's a crazy connection
of
a story
crazy,
too.
Bro. You just don't never know. So go back him and then obviously Wemby. I mean, that's like
Wemby. He got to put on some weight or something, bro.
He's a cheat code. Like he's born. He hit the genetic draft, the genetic lottery.
Yeah. I agree. All right, 2 legends, past legends are still getting disrespected, or 2 past legends that are still getting disrespected. They don't get enough credit.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think they're being disrespected because if you're a Hoops fan, you like them. But for me, Trace McGrady and Jamal Crawford.
I'm going to definitely agree with Grady, bro, because I bought them ugly Adidas.
Yeah.
with the blue cross joint.
If you're really watching it this time, I'm staying up watching TNT thinking I'm actually gonna play basketball this time. But man, bro, 6'9", no flaws in this game. I mean, y'all see the admiration Kobe had for him, right?
Yeah.
And then Jamal Crawford, man, it's the handle, just go get a bucket, come in 6-man, and just really cook the second team, cook the first team.
Yeah.
I mean, I like watching them.
All right. Keep it going. Best rap group of all time. They say Wu-Tang is number 1. So who's number 2? Came up with that one.
Rap group?
Rap group. Mine is Outkast, FYI.
Man, it's been so long since we had a rap group for real. I mean, UGK was nice.
But they would be number two?
I think the safe answer would probably be Outkast, like you said.
I'm going to say, what you say?
Hold on, but are we counting groups like actual groups, or are we talking about like a team of artists?
Group, like if they made a group, if they more than one and they made a group, like they made not a collaboration, but like a group.
He gonna laugh, but back when we was at Oxon Hill, I used to bang that 50. Yeah, see,
already know.
Yeah. You would put them at number 2?
G-Unit.
No,
Oh,
I mean, no. I'm just saying,
hot.
I wouldn't put them as number 2, but just saying that who I used to listen to.
Got you. Number 2. Well, I don't know if my person. I'm not saying that Wu-Tang is number 1, but who's your number 1 and 2 rap group?
Yeah, I think I'm biased because I had older brothers, so I was kind of brainwashed.
Okay,
Wu-Tang was them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we know that that'll never be done again.
And then obviously because of the number of rappers that was in that group, you know what I'm saying? Then
Number of nice rappers.
True.
Nice.
True. And I think, obviously a lot of people go solo once they realize they're them. So I do honor our Outkast. You know what I'm saying? It took a while. We know Dre 3000, Big Boy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Outkast did have a run.
Listen, Outkast got me through high school, but the debate is that the Migos is number 1 or number 2. I'm just saying.
Modern day? Oh, yeah.
You're going all the way out.
Migos ran.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Kind of being in Atlanta where they was really like picking up traction. I mean, yeah, definitely. But still, everybody said Outkast. It's just like respect.
Yeah.
It's respect. Outkast, definitely.
I agree with Outkast with you, so I'm going to go with that one. All right, we about to bring it home, though. DMV music debate. Who really had it on lock when we were throwing go-go's or mixtape? Who had it on lock, the go-go era or the mixtape era? Being from here.
Probably go-go. But you know what's crazy, though? I ain't even never really go to go-go's like that. And crazy, my cousin was throwing them, and I never really used to go. I never really
Going
used to go.
is one thing, listening is another.
Yeah, I used to listen, but I wasn't PA Palace with the, we used to have the CDs in the little folder. I didn't have them. Like my man Chris, I know Chris Miller, light skin, my best friend. He still got it. Unzip it. He got the. Oh yeah, man. I got back when they was at Man Chef. I got him like, man. I wasn't like that.
Hey, this was a go-go guy. Yeah, lived in the go-go. Yeah. He was in a go-go band.
Man, for sure, bro. Like to this day, if y'all ever want to just have a good time on a Friday night, go ahead and check out Restaurant 55. That still rocks, bro.
Yeah.
Backyard for life, bro.
I go now. Like when if I come back, I found out or somebody going, I go. But just back then, like when everybody wanted to be in a go-go band, you know what I'm saying, at school, like, yeah, I'm in a band, like, nigga.
I had no desire,
but you said what?
I had no desire to be in a band.
Yeah, neither did I. But I never used to just go. Not that I ain't like it, I ain't never do it.
Bruh, I would go to the go-go randomly. Every time I went to the go-go, I end up with Brad and with Forest Heights.
Oh, yeah, Forest Heights was in there.
I've never made it through a backyard set. I've never seen backyard all the way through. I'm not saying it was Forest Heights or nothing, but every time it was, hey, and this is over. Two, hey, security to the front. I was like, at this point, I don't need to be in here.
Hey, Rat and them used to get busy.
Hey, they be in there.
Yeah.
They used to. Hey, you guys to know that it's there. All right, let's stay on here. Most sleep on sneakers of all time. What pair means the most to you?
Y'all know it's crazy. Y'all know I used to have a bunch of shoes. I just sold about 200 something shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, I just sold some.
You gonna make Dante cry over there.
Yeah, oh damn, he was a big thrifter. Yeah, he love it. Yeah.
Hey, he got all the sneaks though.
Man, I just sold a whole bunch. I'm talking about, man, I had some shoes in there. You look at the tags, 2008, which means I had them when I was at Richmond.
Yeah.
Most slept on shoe though? Bro. I thought I was supposed to be choosing between something. It's no option.
I mean, listen, don't blame me. That was the most behind the scenes production made it, not me.
The most slept on shoe. You know what? I'm gonna say one.
Oh, it said bad. Never mind.
No, what is it?
No, I'm on the wrong question.
I ain't gonna say slept on shoe. I'm gonna tell you it's a Jordan that I like that I know a lot of people don't like, but I love it. The 23.
The 23?
Yeah. See his face. Most people don't like
I just don't like none of the bronze. I don't like nothing I can't wear.
I like the 23. Obviously, little bro, he got on my favorite.
I thought you were gonna pick the 11s.
No, but you said slept on. If you said my favorite, I'd have told you Concord 11. If I can have a whole closet full of that, I'm good. But the most slept on shoe, the 23s.
Okay.
Which I got a few. I ain't let them go. I still got them.
You holding on nice.
Yeah, I got some stuff I'm still holding on to.
You got rid of some J's?
I got rid of a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It's actually, I look back at it now, I'm like, man, what in the hell was I thinking about? Well, from 2008, I still had them. Wow, somebody else's.
All right. I'm going to talk to production because this is definitely not let it flow and let it go. This is just icebreakers.
Yeah,
but we'll get to them in a minute. But you walk into the room. What's your entrance music? Like if you walking into, I don't know, man. Let's say you coming to, I don't know, you coming to the ring, you coming to the field, something. What's your entrance music, man?
50 Cent, Be I'm the Man. All right, that's all right.
I can dig that.
Make sure y'all played it on my intro when this start up.
I don't think we have the rights to that.
You don't? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you can't.
Listen, try to get this put out early.
Yeah, I was early in the game. Nah, that's my walk-in song. That's my walk-in song.
Respect. All right, we about to get into it, man. We got some good questions lined up for you, man. Get some good conversations out of this, and let's see what we can get out of this, man. Make something fun out of this, but get into some details. Get the people some good gems they can leave with. All right, man. So you were the guy your year at Oxon Hill coming out, knowing that you're probably going to go to a dominant school and things like that. Did you ever feel like people expected you to carry more than your share back then?
Back then, that's still going on right now. But I welcome it though because sometimes I'm settled in it now, and I was telling Corey this in the little pre-production, like when you kind of realize that you one of the people that people are looking at, like it's gonna be a lot of pressure with that.
It is.
Some people fold with that kind of pressure. I kind of welcome it. I mean, because y'all know where we came from, man. It's just even getting to Richmond was a struggle. We was bad, but kind of knowing you are that one, I say chosen. God give that gift to certain people. It can be a lot, but it also motivates you. It keep you on point too. You know what I'm saying? I know even with all y'all, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years younger than me, I know at that time period of our life, y'all was looking at me, and it was like even still, and everything that was going on, no matter how bad we was, I had to make sure I was on point because I owed to see y'all as being older, being a captain, and being an example. And it's like, man, if he messing up, then we might as well throw the whole thing away because he probably one of the only people that we got, that was a senior at the time that we actually look at as a positive example. No shade to nobody else, but it is what it is. But even now, growing in faith and now moving into the mental health space and then just, working with people in the community, active in my church, still giving back, people still looking at that. And it's good to know that you had that gift, but it can be a lot. Sometimes it can be tiring. You got to take time to take care of yourself.
Yep.
But it's still, it's motivating. It keeps you motivated.
I agree, man. Yeah. I definitely feel like somehow I'm in that seat somewhere.
For some people, you're a motivation to somebody.
Yeah,
everybody got somebody.
It definitely does. You know what I'm saying? It's a backpack you got to carry. You got to adjust it and take a step and say, all right, I can't take it off, but I got to get it together so I can continue to push on and carry.
The alternative is somebody looking at you like a joke. You know what I mean? None of us don't really want that. But I think, now that we men now, if other men can look at you and draw inspiration from you, bro, that's the ultimate compliment.
I agree, man, because I definitely can draw that from you. You know what I'm saying? And definitely agree. I want to throw one at Maud, because Maud asked me this on the first one. He was like, was there a moment where we running these laps and you just be like, I'm going to quit? So go ahead. Like,
Nah, with that guy, like as you talking, and y'all know where we come from, the program,
yeah.
the state of our record.
Before we
go
keep
ahead.
saying
Yep.
that, let's make everyone aware of how terrible we actually were.
That's what we got to
We
get
keep
to.
saying where we come from, so
There we go.
let's let them understand.
Listen, we went to Oxon Hill High School, Oxon Hill Clippers, and from what is it, like 96, 97 to 2004 because of us, but 2004, 2005 season, we only won.
Hold on, let's stop though. I don't think it's that far back because when Walton was there, he graduated 98. They was nice. You know, Walt was Gatorade.
I thought he was 96.
Nah, he graduated 98.
Okay, so 98.
But they was nice then. But from
Let's
that
say
point
2000.
on, yeah.
It was a run.
Yeah, but I can tell you this. I played varsity 10th, 11, and 12. We was 1-9 every year. So I won 3 games total on varsity when I was there. I know y'all did something after I left, but, bruh. Yeah,
We didn't do too much. We did a little something. We made the playoffs.
It's better, but, you know.
Shout out to that, Jay.
Hey. Brought it home.
That going through that, seeing people not committed, not committed to themselves in the classroom, not accountable to themselves, and not being accountable to their teammates. Man, when I went on, man, I swear I never, ever, I knew everything not to do.
Nah, you good.
Okay.
You good.
I knew everything not to do once I got to school, and bruh, losing like that. And losing like that kind of, man, it pushed me like no other. I remember every time we used to come to school and people asked like, how much y'all lose by?
Yeah, that was tough.
Every person that laughed, every person that made fun of, bro, I remember every single person, bro. Every time, even when I got to Richmond, bro, like it was like ultimate motivating. And you shouldn't, and we'll get to this, but you shouldn't use resentment to motivate you because it don't work after the fact, but I use it then.
Some got to
feel. Yeah, some got to give. But we suck. We was terrible with the camera at. Man, bad news bears. Nothing go right. He was at quarterback.
I was at quarterback this year.
Damn, they couldn't throw you.
Hold on.
You was at quarterback. When we
Wait a
run
minute.
triple line. Oh, no, Dave was. Dave.
I was at receiver.
Yeah.
Dave got
He got hurt. They put you there.
No. Dave got suspended for trying to block a kick. Sula had a female kicker. This fool goes all out Rambo and tries to delete her. Like literally control alt delete and gets ejected. Then Rat goes in at quarterback and gets hurt. I'm the third string and now I'm up and y'all talking about it's my fault.
I wouldn't say it was your fault. We was bad before that, but all jokes aside, man, I look back at it now. We got people ineligible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We got people skipping practice, skipping workouts. You know, we wasn't even really watching film and stuff like that back then. We just relying
no point in watching film. We just had to show up.
Now that I'm like living in the South and I see how serious they take it, how they train, man, it's a different world, man. Even now, like with the youngers that's here now, it's way way better now. But they ain't playing. They not playing down there. So
the South is definitely a different breed. What the DMV now is way different.
Yeah,
like we were breeding ballers then. Don't get me wrong, but we were nowhere near
structure, bro. It's
the structure. Like Oxon Hill now is a brilliant program now versus when we were. So at the same time, it's definitely changed. You know what I'm saying? Changed a lot.
I think we cleared up how sorry.
Okay, yeah. My bad. All right, get into your question because I mean you always want to ask like, what was your mental mindset? I think I know, but at the same time, you know.
Yeah, and he definitely going into those details like mentally, bruh. You were leading in a losing culture, right? So when I think about people who are self-starters, bro, what fueled you though, bruh? Like, I know you was talking about the teammates, stuff like that, but like when you think about, we're going to again, I don't know what your expectations was, bruh, but we kind of looked at the schedule and was like, oh, we're going to at least get Crossland up out of here, right? Like,
but the rest of these.
But with your mindset and the steps that I personally witnessed seeing you take to that next level, like, was it, dog, I got to get this done regardless? Or
yeah, I think I'm like that with everybody. I do have that self-starter mentality, bro. I'm a grinder. I I think I probably had more faith in y'all
Then we had not said.
than I had in yourselves, and probably more faith in some people than I should have had. But I just it just in me, man. I'm just like that. You know what I mean? I just, whether it's trying to get you to stop playing basketball to come over here to play football, or like if I see somebody like, bro, dog, why you skipping? Why you in this lunch? You're supposed to be in class. I always been that person. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. That's just me. That's just who I am. I'm accountable to myself. I feel like if I'm gonna go out swinging. I'm never gonna cheat myself, and I ain't gonna cheat people around me. You know what I mean? So it didn't stop.
Nah, I like that, bro. Cause
even when you was tired, falling back on the hundreds, come on, Ramon, get up. In more colorful.
Ramon was ready to go home.
In more colorful language.
And you for real, like, I'm glad I got y'all, man, because y'all know who I used to be. And it's such a struggle because, bro, I did not believe in work ethic, bro.
Oh, you lazy. I'm going to say it the right way. You lazy.
Go ahead,
athletic as hell, but lazy.
Yeah. And I used to, now, obviously hindsight, right? They say it's 2020. I look back at it and just even personally being able to witness to you, bro. Like, I remember sophomore going into junior year, right? Because I got moved up. Haskins, they used to call me Kwame, right?
They sure did.
Call me Kwame. Yeah. And sophomore going to junior year, bro, like, we used to run sprints, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if we had 1250s, it's like about 3 out of the 12, you gonna be a step ahead of me. But, bro, I watched you go junior year into your senior year, and you ran track. And, bro, you took off and never came back. Like, bruh, your speed went to, I was kind of like, hold up, bruh, where you get this from? But one thing I did want to ask you personally, bruh, what inspired you to run track, though? What was that?
Just to help me out, be a better football player. You might not remember, but, I was playing baseball, too. And Mr. Hurst was like, man, his voice, oh, Sidbury, you got to choose one. You can't do both. I was like, all right, well, I'm probably not going to
choose baseball.
I'm probably not going to have a future. Not that baseball is such a skilled sport, man. If you're not getting coached skilled at a certain level, man, you really don't have a chance. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, I'm just going to run track. You know what I'm saying? To help me out with football. And Coach Williams, and it was like, man, just come out, run. And, throw the shot for us, score so we can score points in the meet. And I was like, cool. I was out there every day with, and all of them, really pushing them, like beating the people that was really running, beating them at practice. And, so they taught me how to run, got my form right. You know what I'm saying? They actually do my mechanics right to know actually what I was doing. And like you said, bro, I just took off. Speed just never really went away.
I'm glad you had like that motivation to run track because to get better. I ran track. My man Howard, it's like, hey, bro, Howard was fast as lightning. He like, hey, you need to run track, bro. You need to run track. And I'm like, why? I hate running. I don't even like the running I do. Yep. He like, bro, come to one track meet.
Yeah, you'd have been nice.
No, I ran
800 though. Really.
I ran 800. I ran the 400. I got the track, but my motivation was not to get better for football, bro. I showed up to one track meet.
Okay,
I lied to you not, bro. I did not know everybody was together. I thought it was football. Like this team plus this team. That's the only, bro. All the schools were there, and the females were there. Slim. Once I seen the chicks running, I was like, oh, hey, coach, I'll be in practice tomorrow. You ain't got to sell me but once.
The meets is all the schools.
I had no clue. I legit thought it was us versus them, and we just run and call it that. Slim, I showed up. Every school in the county was there, and the females was there. Slim, this is a buffet. I'm out.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Warren, I'm running track. You'll see me out there. I had no clue. I didn't care about getting fast. I was fast. I was good enough. I did not care. I wasn't good enough, but I did not care about none of that other shit.
No, I'm with you, bro. So, all right, question about y'all, man. Like, we talk about getting tired, right? So I guess this is a myth or a fact. The coaches used to always be like, stand up. Ain't no air down there. Right? And you went to the highest level, doing a workout, bruh. Like, do they still kind of tell players stand up, ain't no way down there? Is that a myth or a fact? We're going.
No, I actually think it's been proven that bending over actually help you regain your breath is actually better. But I think standing up is just so you just don't pause. But,
Absolutely. Already know. We good.
Yeah, I was trying. See, look, hey, look, all right now, y'all know I was trying to be all right, but now I'm about to be.
This is the Friendship and Flow
You already know how we talk,
Okay, we fair game now. All right, they about to be stuttering on everything over there now. Watch. But I think they said you get your air better. Actually, you know what I'm saying, like in a crouch position to regain your air. But the standing up just so you don't look weak. But when you work yourself into exhaustion like I did, you'll never get tired. So just brute force mentality. Just keep running.
Absolutely. Another follow-up question, right? So we played the game. You know what I'm saying? You were fortunate enough to play the game, longer than what we played it. Our motivation the entire time in working out was for football. Even after football, military, you know what I'm saying? My question to y'all is, right, even you, now that father time has kicked in, you ever looked at a former pro college athlete and was like, hey, Slim, you kind of let yourself go? Like, you ain't no way you used to be here.
Yeah, I was about a few months ago. Here you go. For a few months ago, I was looking at myself like I let myself go. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like I could still run, I could still do all that type of stuff. But it just, most people, they get done it for like, man, you know what? Man, I'm not playing no more. I ain't got to do all that. But really you do, because you still got a whole life left to live. You know what I mean?
True.
But I also think, well, not him, because he can eat whatever.
What you mean, bro? I'm still out here doing my best.
Weight. You still in the gym?
I've been trying to gain weight since 13.
Hashtag you versus you, right? We'll see you on Instagram. But like, you still gotta, work to keep yourself in shape, man. Just for your heart. And then like, say for guys like that's a little bit bigger, man. It's still not good to have all that weight on you. Even if it's a lot of, even if it's lean, if it's muscular, but if you got a lot of body fat, man, you set yourself up to have a lot of problems, man. And then everybody, I feel like gyms closed and stuff, and everybody gained weight during COVID time. And I was just lazy for a minute, and I just woke up one day like, man, I'm just tired, man. I've been training like you think I'm about to try to go back out there, but it's just not that I ain't trying to play again, but it's just, bro, like, we got one temple, we got one body, or God gave us one body. This only go around you getting, so you probably better take care of it. What Tim told me, Tim Hightower, my roommate, everybody watching, he's played with me at Richmond, Arizona, then the Redskins, then the Saints. He told me one time, like, Sid, either you gonna pay now or you gonna pay later. So it's just like, so I will pay for my food to be organic. I don't, not drinking the soda, all the processed food and all that type of stuff that we supposed to avoid, just cut it out. It could be kind of boring sometimes, but man, once when you in shape, that feeling is unmatched. And when you not feeling that way no more, you're like, man, like, I hate feeling like this. And I got to the point where I hated feeling like that. So now, I'm back.
I have to attest to that, because early this year I did a 45-day no sugar, no meat cleanse, and it was tough like the first couple of days, and after a while you just got normal, like eating raw vegetables, raw fruits, and things like that.
You lose the cravings.
But my energy went up, like my mental energy. When I went back to eating regular food and got myself, I started to feel more sluggish, more tired. Wow. Like, it was weird. But I was like, yo. But I also lost a lot of weight, and I was like, I need to gain my weight back, but I need to find a balance in between these two to be healthy, but not just, go that hard either. You know what I'm saying? But I can definitely attest to, like, your body feel different when you get off of artificial sugar and all that stuff.
That stuff, it ain't no good. And it's hard, right? Because the neighborhoods we live in, like, none of us, we not living in the ghetto or nothing like that. But in black areas, you go to try to find something to eat, and we set up, man. Look around, like, you got to really work to find something, something healthy or responsible choice. It's hard, and it's a setup too, right? So, man,
I agree
that,
man.
Rabbit hole, but it's just difficult. It's difficult to eat clean or eat healthy, and where we live at, where our people live at.
Yeah, I definitely believe they put us in food deserts. Unfortunately, like they put it. I mean, you go to other counties, you go to other areas. It's way better, way better. Like choices, options, grocery stores, and it's like being here. It's just like very slim.
Levi's up the street, right?
Hey, and I get them turkey wings.
Mm-hmm.
The turkey wings fire. Ma gonna eat, God. Ma gonna eat.
All right, so man, I appreciate this conversation because I need it, bro. I need it. Like former offensive lineman, true offensive lineman, love eating, right? And I'll give y'all one of my whys of why I got back in the gym routine. So Solomon was like maybe 3 or 4, right?
Uh-huh.
And we went outside to go play or whatever. And at that stage, he like, Daddy, chase me. So I'm like, I'm gonna come get you.
Boy, you was winded as hell. What was winded?
Hey, bro.
What was winded?
Bruh, I felt bad. Like, we went out to a field, bruh, and, I kind of was chasing him, and he got 3-4-year-old speed. And I was trying to keep up with him, and I got winded, and I was like, nah, hold up, son. And I sat down on the bench, and so growing up, my dad wasn't a part of my life. So I always was like, all right, bet. When I become a dad, I'm going to be as active as possible. Bruh, I tried to get active with my son, and I got winded. And I looked into the future. That's why I think what you said about Hightower, pay now or pay later.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, let me get my calculations correct. If he's 3-4 and I'm winded, what are you going to do 8, 9, 10? And he like, Dad, let's go to the court and shoot. So that was my turning point of, all right, Ma, you need to get yourself together. At that time, I was probably like 330, 340, just being fat. Not working out, I ain't had a routine. So what happened was, bruh, I said, you know what? I was working a night shift around that time, and I was like, Ramah, you have no excuse. You drop him off at preschool. LA Fitness is right out there in Waldorf. Before you go in the house to take a nap, you got to at least do 30 minutes, right? I started off about 5 minutes on the Stairmaster, bruh. Level 1. Tired as hell, bruh. But over the course of time, guys, I built my way up. The next you know, like, this the other why, right? First, it was my son that initiated. Then people was like, oh, Ma, you losing weight. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, I like this feeling here, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the reasons why, I got on track. What was you about to say, bro? Yeah.
Them knees was hurting, everything, bro. I'm going to tell you, like, I was tripping for a minute, too. Like, the scale had a 3 on it for me. I was like, hold up, bro. Like, you tripping. Like, you tripping for real. So, I just had, we locked in now, though.
There we go.
I'm not even going to intervene in this conversation.
No. It's barely been one night, never been one night in his life.
Hey, bro, that's the goal, though. That's the goal. I'm going to get there. And when I do, I'm calling y'all first.
You was blessed with the more fast metabolism. I say that, bro. Your calories don't get stored right here in this section. Yeah. Well, go ahead. Yeah, you good.
Hey. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I'm not even going to get too in depth on y'all and y'all weight journey, but God bless y'all, man. God bless me with metabolism. Yeah. But anyways. All right, so we go from Oxon Hill. We get to Richmond. You go from, a losing culture to now a different culture. Obviously, you can leave that behind and say, you know what, I'm a new person, things like that. But what was something like, as you're getting into these years at Richmond, changing your mindset, changing your culture, changing your outlook on, just how you play ball, and y'all getting ready to go to the national championship and things like that. What was that like, finding yourself? Were you a captain? Then?
My last year.
You was a captain?
Yeah.
Okay, so earning your way through, I know you and Hightower were best friends, and that relationship just built from meeting each other and knowing each other. Like, tell us a little bit about just that journey, that transition, and then getting to the big stage.
I walked through it. So, me and Tim, oddly enough, my god brother, one of his childhood friends was actually Tim's girlfriend at the time when we found out that we first was both going to Richmond. And then, man, since that summer before we went to school, man, look, I was working. I was getting off of work. I was going. He ain't had no car. I was picking him up. We was going to the gym. Then after that, we go to the track, and I go drop him off back at home. We did that all summer. So we first when we first got there, Richmond didn't have the winning culture like y'all think. We had to.
So what was y'all record the first couple of years?
I can't even remember. Well, okay, so my first year we had Coach Dave Clausen. He was most recently the head coach at Wake Forest University, but he stepped down. He's in an administrative role now. Before I signed at Richmond, the coach that recruited me like resigned the day after I was the last person to sign, and they hired him. So he came in. I want to say I think we went to the playoffs the first year. I can't remember. FCS 1AA or FCS had the playoffs back then.
Yeah, I remember.
Before everybody got the playoffs now, but I just want it wasn't the winning culture like people think. People see the national championship at the end, and Ramon not gonna like this because he was at JMU, and we like my school and his school is like rivals.
True rivals. Yep.
True rivals. Like hate. Like,
I knew y'all was at the same level of D1. I didn't know that y'all were right. I knew they were close, but I didn't know y'all were right. That's what's up.
It's not a thing.
Wait,
now,
did y'all play?
Yeah, we played against each other
in college.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yeah, we played against each other.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, we played against each other.
Reunited.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really go against each other because he was at center and I was at defensive end.
Oh, I didn't know you
but
played center.
We definitely was on the field. We was on the field at the same time. It was kind of weird. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
He was looking up, smiling just like I am now. But so we really didn't have a winning culture like that. But when I first got there, me, Tim, and a couple of other guys, we was like, man, we gonna change this around. And it was just the way we worked. You know, the way we worked. And we had our strength coach there. His name's I still talk to him to this day. Named Brandon Horrigan. Crazy white dude from Boston. That goes Horrigan. Menace though. I'm talking about y'all. People see me run the 4.53 at the combine. I was doing it. I had already.
Hey, how much? Wait, 4.53. How much did you weigh?
Moving.
265.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen.
But I actually had some other clock. Like they had more. So like I know we ain't getting on track, but when they had the combine, like they got the TV clock, right?
Right.
But other coaches from other teams, they have their own clock too. So that time was what was on TV. I think I did.
Tell me, bro.
I did a Final 30 visit. I think I went to Tennessee, and Jeff Fisher was a coach then, and they had they showed me my profile, but they had me down there at 447.
Oh,
yeah, I was like,
bro, that's
as a
historical,
DN?
bro.
yeah, but it's crazy. But I was when I was training, I was running a high 4.4 consistent anyway. I kind of ran slow, and I got slower at Indianapolis at the combine when I went, but I was running consistent at 4.46, 4.47, 4.48 every time I ran.
Damn.
So, but
See, though, let me hop in there right quick, bro, because that's what really did something for me, right? As a guy, who was lazy. And although I'm gonna tell you this, bro, my mindset now when I raise my son,
yeah,
I reference you in my mind. He don't know who you are, nothing like
Yeah.
that, but it's like I've seen you, bro, literally go from, I think you probably left high school, 5 flat, 5'1", or
probably. I know my first day when I got to Richmond the first day, I ran like a 4.7 something. But
4.7.
Yeah, but that was after summer of training and everything. But I probably was like a 5 something. So it wasn't I gradually got better. I was a late bloomer. My body developed as I continued to work. As I got stronger, I got a lot faster. But a lot of the natural athleticism came from my dad, though. My dad was crazy athletic. He way more athletic than I was, though. Yeah,
for real?
way more, yeah.
Pops.
Yeah. Well, he ain't play organized sports, but he was just freak athletic. I got my size from my mom's side of the family, but athleticism from him. So them together is like, yeah. But did you have something else about that, or you want me? I ain't even finished talking about the Richmond job. Oh no,
where he was going. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't a winning culture. Like, and it's really the mentality of the people, right? Because the coach can come in and instill how to win, but it's about who you got, the people you bring, and how you recruit. But we just had a lot of people, man. Like when I got there, and the 2 classes after we came, pause. Man, we just worked, and like how I was with y'all, I was the same way when I was there. I ain't really talk a lot, but they know I'm a work. I used to run with the DBs and receivers. I never ran with the D line. I was smoked them. So all the years I was there, I was conditioned. I was running with the receivers and the running backs and stuff like that. So just to keep myself accountable, because I know like if I can beat them, or if I'm like right there behind somebody really fast, I know I'm moving. But it's keeping me, it's keeping me accountable to myself. But needless to say, though, we just worked and we eventually end up getting to the the national, working our way to the national championship. But after we almost didn't make it, you wasn't there, but we lost the my senior year. We lost to JMU. You wasn't there. We lost to JMU, and man, we got in by the skin of our teeth. We made the run and ended up winning the championship. And then the 4 sacks in the championship game just set off everything.
Did you ever get to Rodney Landis?
Yes,
You did? Okay.
I did. I
The what?
Rodney Landis was our quarterback. He was a dual threat, bro. He was
an
an
nice.
athlete.
He was
Yeah?
nice. Yeah, sack fumble.
Oh,
he
that's
called
like
it out.
Sack fumble, yeah.
Make sure you know I
Sack
can't
fumble.
count.
Sack fumble. But he got me though. My junior year though, I had a kill shot and missed him. I don't know
spent
how.
out?
Man, I think it was a boot, and I was unblocked. I was running so fast before he even turned around. I was already there. He had his back towards me. Man, I went to go tackle Joe. He ducked underneath me. I don't know. I still to this day I don't know how he did that, but he was nice though. But man, I still wish I could have that one back. But
Yeah.
to get back is much sweeter.
Absolutely. And that, it's crazy. It makes me think like, obviously everybody trains to be the best possible cornerback, safety, linebacker, DN. And I can't imagine the conversations people be having about Mike Vick, right? On his highlights, LaMarcus, and all, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys who you're the best at what you do.
Let me tell you something.
And then go ahead. Yep.
When you get to the next level, like I was a crazy athlete, but you see some of I'm talking about dudes like they made in a lab, and they looking at me like, man, he can run, he's strong, but bro, you see some
Who
freak
was
athletes.
who was the person that you just said, bro? This ain't real.
Real Brent Grimes. So he played. It's a couple. Yes, yo, Grimes, crazy athletic. I'm talking about. Look, he went to. I want to say. And I might say this wrong. It's either I want to say it was Shippensburg. He went to. I want to say D2. Played the NFL Europe at the time. He wasn't even playing like that. Grimes just like, he gonna come to work. He gonna go home, play the video game. He gonna be out there corner, shoes gonna be untied. Back then, the baggy shorts. But I'm talking about bunnies, lightning quick, fast, vert, like this crazy. Anything you can do, like he just one of the people that just, some people just good at everything.
Yeah.
He is that crazy athletic. And then obviously, man, being with the Julio, who just retired today. Julio, the first 2 years, bro. Dog. You want to talk about, man, I think every corner pulled their hamstring trying to check this dude, man. He's like, man, when we first got him, they just sent him deep. All you see is 11 just on the go. And you just see the corner just flare like trying, bro. Couldn't keep up with him, man. Dude is freak athlete. And I'm just on my team. Probably the biggest freak show I ever seen was actually one of my favorite players. Was Julius Peppers.
That's what I was gonna say because your 40 was crazy.
I was grade say with him because we used to see them twice a year. He was in Carolina. I'm like, this dude's 6'7". Probably at this point, because at some point they started playing them inside and outside, right? Man, he got on an all white jersey, all white sleeves. Yeah. This dude almost 300. I'm talking about, dog. He looked like
Chisel.
Bro, I'm like, it's not who is that, it's what is that. And he was, bro. And then obviously everybody know how crazy athletic he was. He played basketball at UNC. He ran a 4.6 at the combine, like dumb athlete, crazy. I can go on for days, bro. The athleticism of everybody at that level. Like when you watching, people like really don't understand how fast people moving. Like when you watch it on TV, you can't you really can't grasp it. When you on the sideline, like when people run past you, you can feel like how a car run past. You can feel it when people run past you. When the hits, you can actually feel it.
You like,
it's not like even in the stands, if you at the game, you can't. It look like they not moving that fast, but bro, you on the field, it's crazy. everybody is crazy athletic or have a trait or something that got them to that level. Whether they super strong, they quick, good get off, excellent body control, crazy hand-eye coordination to catch the ball. Somebody got something that's special about them. Yeah. Everybody have something special. Everybody. I don't care if they not playing, practice squad, inactive, Hall of Fame. Everybody got something that's special about them, bro.
I respect that. I respect that. While we on that in the NFL, what's like? I mean, you retired. You've been done for years now. So at this point, what's a locker room moment or something that just happened that you just like, bro? If I had social media or if a camera was here, what's a story that's just like, bro, I can't make this up.
I ain't gonna say what team, but
nah, just give us the story, man. You give us the city.
Look, man, I gotta say, team. We was in Indy. I was in Indy for a year, man. Hey, look, after practice, niggas shooting dice in the locker room after practice, right?
Right.
Man, I'm not gonna say who it was, but man, I seen a nigga bet his whole game check.
Where was his game check around?
I don't know how much he was making, but still, you got a wife and kids at home. You need not be betting your game check. Right. And look, he bet his whole game check to somebody from around here though.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
DMV got him.
Yeah. And got him. I said, G, you can't take that man whole check, man. He got him 2 kids at home. He like, nah, see, I ain't gonna do it. He got to give me like half though. He let him live though.
Yeah, he let him live though. Yeah. Half of that check was probably like 50 bands.
Ain't nobody tell you to gamble. Like nobody told you to gamble. They was for real. Facts. Yeah. Like if you gambling, people look, hey man, I need to go back there, get my money. Cause look, in Indy we had like they have a Huntington Bank is big in the Midwest. But we had a bank in the facility. They like, man, hey, go back just to get my money real quick. Like, ain't no excuse not to pay nobody. Like, you can do anything in the bank. You can do it at the time at the facility. So, dudes pay, and be serious too.
Nah, I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, but he bet his whole game. I'm like, bro, he's like, man, niggas like, man, he tripping, dog, and lost. But he worked with him, though, like,
That's luckily he worked with him because anywhere else.
Yeah, I've been some places where I seen somebody lose their whole game check and they ain't work with him. They took it and he was gambling every week. Like, bro, you ain't learning yet. You can't gamble.
So this is a normal thing. Just get it in.
Bro, but you gotta understand, man. Is like just because somebody can play football, don't make them no smarter. It don't make them. If they got a gambling addiction, or the money just make you more who you really are.
True.
So whatever problem you have as a regular human being, now you got access and you got funds. Is you just gonna do it more. But man, I seen a dude. He was a rookie, and this is when I was in Atlanta. He was a rookie, and you gambling with dudes on their second and third deal. Like, bro, what are you doing, man?
they good. They secure.
I'm taking his money. I was like, oh my gosh, bro. But yeah, but the story is I seen somebody bet their whole game check and lost.
Hey, you was a rookie. Did you get any rookie hate? What did you have to do as a rookie?
We sang. We had 1, 2, 3. We had in my draft. We had 3D line. It was our first round pick was a Parade Jerry from Ole Miss, and we had D tackle named Vance Walker from Georgia Tech, and Big Luke. He was a free agent. He came from Colorado. So it was 4 of us. So we sang Drew Hill Sleeping in My Bed. I was lead, you know what I mean?
Wait, you was Drew Hill?
Oh, Cisco. Yeah, Cisco. Yeah, I was Cisco. But we sang. Well, I mean, it's all that fun, man.
But what like you ain't had to carry no lot stuff.
Nah, it depends.
No helmets, no shoulder pads.
It depend on you do that. It depend on where you at. So it's a vet. Like you carry their pads. It ain't nothing crazy, man.
Okay.
It's like it's really a respect thing, man. The NFL is like it's a big fraternity, man. Everybody really respect. Everyone respects everyone. Even if you like, it's certain levels. You got some people that's Hall of Fame, some people that's team captain, some people that's glue guys, some people that's hanging on. But it's a respect level, man. As long as you go sing and do a good job, even if you sing and you can't sing, if you try, it's all right. You know what I mean? That's what that's what you do.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, I watch Hard Knocks. Y'all see. Yeah. People sing, they do a good job. Like, yeah, they do. And they act like they too cool to do it. Man, if you act like you too cool to do it, they gonna be on you.
They're gonna be
They gonna be on you.
Yeah, that's probably the main thing.
Yeah.
All right, man. We've been in the NFL for a minute. We about to jump out the NFL for a second.
Okay.
Get a little more in depth because I know you are very involved in mental health and you're very involved in the community and a lot of other things. But get into these conversations that we don't have often in the Black community and the male community and things like that. What's the wildest call you ever got where it was like, bro, I just need to talk from someone that maybe you used to play with, or in that space of being such on a high level where sports is just so glorified, but people forget that y'all are human.
Yeah, I don't think no one had just called me and said, said I need to talk. But it's like you may speak to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while, and I got a God-given gift that just kind of sense some type of things. Like I can look at you in your eye, I can kind of read what's going on, I kind of feel what's going on, and I can listen to your voice, and see, what's on somebody's spirit. But you talk to them, and then the conversation kind of just gradually, it just kind of get there. Mm-hmm. Or may say something like, yeah, man, I've been feeling like this. And then we on the phone for an hour, but even still with some of the, my, former teammates or people who I train with or not necessarily play with, they know that same thing y'all knew about me at 14, 15, 16, 18 years old. They grown men know that about me now. So if I talk to them, the conversations kind of be the same. But, it's a side that, exiting the league that people don't really talk about. People struggling, these dudes struggling right in front of you, but people can't see it. But it's not no one's fault though. If people, our community not really talking about mental health, we just now getting to the point where we erasing the stigma now, and it's okay. Even though the stigma is being erased, we still, people still not, everybody not going. Some people are, but everybody not. Right. But the conversations just kind of naturally, organically get there. Like I'm on the phone, we'll talk and I find something else out, but then I find something else out, or I might find out something about somebody else. But the toughest things are, I think, every team that I've been on, I have had a former teammate, some struggle, drugs bad, and had people die. And that's just not, these people, they in their 30s, man. These people who've been in shape for almost all their life.
Were they dying from suicide, or just just
drugs? Sometimes, I actually thought about how I was going to answer that, Jason. I think we talk, we hear things, but I think the families have done a good job kind of protecting them in the public eye. But when you kind of find out what's going on, sometimes it's drugs, sometimes you just don't know. It's still a mystery. But either way. And the reason why I said that, because if it ain't out, I'm not gonna get up and talk.
Well, you haven't dropped nobody's name either.
Yeah, but I'm not. Here's the one I can tell you that kind of hurt me the most, and the reason behind it, I leave and not talked about. When I was my teammate in Atlanta, I won't say his name because he's still here, but in Tampa, y'all remember Vincent Jackson? Mm-hmm. He was with San Diego, and then he was in Tampa. They found him in a hotel room. They didn't release what happened, so we're gonna leave it like that. And then, man, the one that messed me up the most was, last year around this time, y'all know Vontae, yeah, Tay was 36. You know what I mean? Which is young. Is young. Still taking care of herself.
Vontae Davis,
Vontae Davis. And the crazy part about that, man, I wasn't even able to make it to the funeral, man, because it was two other funerals, one the day before, one the same day, bro. And I couldn't be all them places at once. Like I went to one, I had my mom go on my behalf for another one, and I just couldn't make it, man. But I tell you, that was the one that kind of made me feel like I wanted to become a resource because, we got a ton of people, a lot of former players, people, stars, people that's in the media that's advocating, about mental health. But that was the one that kind of made me feel like, man, I want to be a resource because, talking about it is good. And shout out to everybody who's talking about it and shedding light. But man, at the end of the day, once you tell, especially a black man, you tell a black man, yeah, man, go work in mental health. You need help. Who are you going to? Bro, I'm in class right now. I finished a doctorate in healthcare administration to learn how to run businesses or run healthcare programs. But now I'm in school actually to become a therapist, which will give me, I can be more active in my practice and then sign up for my own stuff eventually. But I'm in class now, bro. I'm the only black. Sometimes the only dude or only black person in class. So it's like it's reflective of what's going on now. And it's some black therapists out there, but the relatability, right? So if I'm talking to somebody who, if they play sports or come out the league, somebody who kind of look like them, talk like them, and I'm still at the age where I can relate to people up or down. Like young people still look at me, that's big bro, whatever. I'm not old enough where they won't talk to me, or I move and I'm chilling, so they still can relate to me. But some of I'm in class, and it's one of the classes I got. There's 2 other black dudes in there, and I'm thinking to myself like, yeah, ain't nobody gonna talk to that nigga, man.
So let me jump in real quick as you were there. So we talk about, these athletes transitioning from the league to life and things like that. Let me ask you, so for you transitioning from the league to real life, was there a moment or in your life that you had a identity, adjustment?
Hell
because
yeah, nigga, when I was done, y'all know my dad died the same time I was done. It was like, 2 hits at once. Man, like, actually, he died right before my last season in Tampa. But, like many people, you just staying busy. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you want me to keep going, which you would. But after the season was over with and, we come into the offseason, the phone ain't ringing no more. And, and I talked to my agent, he's like, man, see, this might be it. Do you, ask me, do I want to go to Canada? I'm like, man, I'm not going up there. It's not, for me, I just didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But once you're done, now you forced with everything that you've been suppressing. You're forced to deal with everything you've been suppressing. So now I really got to sit there and think about, damn, and my dad really, he gone. And I think I had 1 week, bro. I probably had 1 week at my lowest, bro. I ain't go outside for like a week. I was bathing though. I was bathing.
That's important, but I get
but bro, the depression, man. It can hit like that, like even now, and I'm actually learning how to diagnose people now. So it's like I'm like thinking about myself at the time, like I was struggling. Sometimes people struggle in plain sight, getting up, moving around every day like they and once they get home, crashing out or just isolated. They might be irritable. There's a whole lot of stuff.
I have to agree though, man. Like I think obviously you're transitioning from one life phase to another where your identity is changing. And this is something I was going to talk about at another point. But for me personally, like when you go from one life situation, my situation, let's say like a relationship or a job and I've been in this situation many times, but you go from identifying as such, right? You like, let's say me, I identify as a boyfriend or whatever the case may be. And I take on that. And then you have this abrupt adjustment of life back to who you are as just individual. And now you have to adjust because everything you did was in a moment of everything else and others.
I'm about to tell you now, look, I'm learning now, so I actually really, really can kind of touch on it. So to finish, it really, like, y'all know I've been a nerd for real my whole life. So like, at some point, the football going to end. You know what I mean? Some people, you know, they get full, they get fulfilled. But I feel like I still had more to do, and I didn't get a chance to do it. That's the only part that really bothered me. But like, man, really sitting, like, you know, my father being dead made me kind of realize, like, dang, this is what it feel like for a person who never had a father. I couldn't imagine if I felt like this for 29, 30 years of my life, you know, the relatability of that. And then, you know, you next up, you the man of your family now, and then it's dealing with that loss, you know what I'm saying, that hole in your heart that ain't, you know, you can put a Band-Aid on it, but it ain't never gonna be stitched up. But you learn how to deal with it better. But, you know, you still gotta keep going, because, look, man, life is going to keep moving. But as far as the transition for people, for athletes, when you people always talking about healing your inner child and the little boy and all that type of stuff. Man, football and the validation you get for being a star or being the man gives dudes it covers up for a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you take somebody who, man, that dude might have been a perennial Pro Bowler, perennial All-Pro, right? He made a lot of money. But no matter how much money you made, man, when the lights go off, they off, man. And, like, you know, it's only a certain amount of time, man. The game don't change, just the names on the back of the jersey. People will not know who you are. They gonna forget. Now, some people don't, you know, they not gonna forget, but now when that's taken away, you still gotta look at who am I? What am I doing with my time? I don't have the structure. Now, anything that was happening back in the past, if they had any identity issues in the past, you know, fractured family relationships, absence of their father, you know, or if chaos or trauma that affected them developmentally as a child in their brain that's affecting them now, but it come rushing back. Now it's two identity crises at once. And that's what people ain't saying. People using drugs to kind of escape that party, to escape that, you know, flying Jones in and out. I must oversex myself to escape that, really running from. Like, everything that happened back then, now it's right back in front of your face, because now you ain't a football player no more. Because then you got to deal with, dang, bro, why you ain't playing no more? Man, I think you had a couple years left. Like, bro, it's a business, man. When the people through with you, it's somebody else coming right behind you. It's a business, man. You know what I mean? So dealing with all those things at once, and that's what y'all really seeing, and the things that they do to kind of cope. That's a maladaptive behavior that they, you know what I'm saying, that they displaying to help deal with whatever losses or whatever they had. Because if you got a dysfunctional family, bro, they still dysfunctional. They still probably calling on you for the same stuff. Now the checks ain't coming. Now, you know, when you go to the club, nah, the girl, they want the active nigga. Now you done, you out the way. I want the person who's still going. I'm being honest. That's the stuff that's going on. But and if you're not sure of yourself, and if you're not sure of yourself, and you already know who you are, it's gonna bother you. You're gonna see some stuff. So sometimes dudes find out they take a long time trying to find themselves. They take a long time to find out what the next thing in life is gonna be. Because look, I was 31 when I finally figured out, all right, I'm done for real, right? All right, so now let me figure out what I'm gonna do for money, right? So I started flipping the houses or whatever. But when say somebody want to go back in the regular workforce or whatever, you starting over from scratch at 30 or 31, but you don't get to skip the time that the person who came straight out of college at 22, 23 been building. You have to start all the way over. But sometimes it's tough because they feel like, man, I'm this age, but they trying to give me this entry level this, so I got to actually go to school or put in the work to learn this. Yeah, you got to learn it. You can't skip the process.
I was going to say, what about you? I know you had a transition of trying to get back in. So talk a little bit about that.
So
like that.
The biggest thing that helped me, man, is I had mentorship. You know, mentorship for me came from one of my college teammates. You know, you already know Lamont Jones, Richmond Construction Group, Baltimore, Maryland. I always give him a shout out. That's my
Baltimore.
man. But he taught me, he showed me the real estate investment game, man. When I hurt my shoulder, when I was in Indy, when I was out for the year, he was like, man, Sid, you need to come up in Baltimore, man. There's some money out here in the street. It's money out here. That's how he talk. So I was like, man, you know what? I got hurt. I ain't have to split my contract, so I was still getting paid the full amount. And I said, you know what? I did it the wrong way. 2 houses, straight cash, just did it. But
I did a lot the wrong way, so I get it.
That's a nice
2
place to
houses, straight cash, made money on both of them, working with a contractor, doing business with your homeboy, which they say don't work, but this like a brother to me. So our relationship is not like everyone else. Don't do that. But I did that. The first 2 houses worked. I made made the money. I was like, well, you know what? All right, well, if I'm done, I found a way to eat. So I ain't until I figure out something else. But I was already working on the transition. So, and then I'm bright anyway. So I was like, well, worst come to worst, I just, I use my brain. And I was going to do that anyway because I wouldn't expect, I wasn't thinking I was going to be in the NFL anyway. So I was like, I wasn't really tripping. It was just me more so just feeling like I had more left to do. But some people don't. What if you don't have that person?
So outside of the sorry to cut you off, but outside of like, all right, you got investments because that was a smart play. You invest. I mean, you flipping houses. What got me into flipping houses? Be honest, like not fully. Like I had already, had some things going on.
I remember when you came with it for the first time.
Oh man, listen, we was like, hey man, I see my man doing it. We can do it too. And we definitely, didn't follow the recipe like we were supposed to. We added some other ingredients and messed it up. But what I'm saying is that you touched on a little bit about the transition of coming out of the league and going back into the workforce like a normal employee, but you come from being glorified and being on the top and then going to the bottom. Did you have a moment or a job or something that you went in and you was like, bruh, they just stuck me at the bottom sending mail?
No, because I've been working for myself ever since I've been done, but we ain't special. You just play football, man.
Facts.
At the end of the day, like football has done a lot for me, and it's probably opened some doors and got me some conversations and introduced me to some people. But at the end of the day, you got to show up with some type of skill, man. Like you still a regular human being.
Yeah.
And when I say you're not special, you are, because you've gotten to a place where not many people have. But bro, your character, you still a person. You got to have something that you can't play football forever. You know what I mean? So at some point, you got to understand, like once it's over with, you gotta make a way. And for real, when you done and people see you actually pursuing something else and working hard, man, they actually respect you more and they actually willing to help. They actually more willing to help you instead of just, you come around thinking you entitled because you play. Like, bro, nah, it's somebody else win. Whatever your number was, unless it got retired, somebody else got that jersey on now. So you have to move into the next phase. You can't get stuck. The longer you stay stuck there, the longer you stay stuck in that space, like, damn, man, I might got another year, or man, I'm so, nah, you're not, bro. You gotta pack that up and you gotta keep going.
Nah, for sure.
So like, bro, you gave so much insight, right? Like, cause as a fan of the game, obviously we sit back and, we glorify y'all. Like, bro, you made it to the league. You know what I'm saying? You're a historical figure. But as you was just walking us through that journey, for the guys who didn't have this, you know what I'm saying, and the role you're playing now, like, guys got to start over from scratch, whether they in their latter 20s, mid 30s, et cetera, like, well, what you provide in the mental health space, do you think it's immediately jump right into the next thing you're good at? Or do you think it's a good thing for the person to sit, process, it's over, and as much significance as you found in being such a phenomenal athlete, tapping into, I guess, the inner significance that you probably should have had all along? Should we stop and say, no, bruh, just relax. If you, again, I don't know, who's sitting on what, but go ahead. Yeah.
Motivational speaker Ramar right there.
Hey man, that's like
so you actually said 3 different things. Okay. One thing, I'm an excellent listener. 3 different things. You asked, should they jump right into it? Was one. Should they sit and process? Was the second? Man, I just lost my train of thought. The third one was, go right into it, sit and process. Or kind of mourn what's going on. You kind of got to do all 3, because at some point you have to you have to realize that part is over. It's like a death, right? I mean, it's a death of you as an athlete. Like, especially playing football, there's no intramural football leagues.
Right.
And especially if you play the positions we play, there's no 7-on-7, ain't no flag football, there's nobody, let's go do one-on-one pass rush. Like, once you get done playing football, that's it. Ain't no pick-up basketball, ain't no softball leagues. We ain't out playing soccer or Anacostia Park. We ain't not doing that. Once you done, you done. So it is tough because you kind of can never get that back. So, you know, somebody feel like they need to process that, man, you probably should, because it's a life transition. Like, that chapter is closed. Like, there's no more football. But jumping right into something, I don't know if that would really be smart. But one thing that all athletes have that they don't realize that they have is, or they all have it, but they don't realize that they can. If you can find a way to apply the same work ethic you have as far as getting in shape, being a good player, working your skill. You find something that you find something you're good at or something you're passionate about. Now, obviously, you can't go out, you can't hit nobody no more. But if you it's the same work ethic that make you a good athlete, makes you a good business person, a good employee, a good friend, a good partner. It's the same skill.
Wow.
That's your desire to work. If you understand the work ethic that's the skill. That's the number one thing in anything you do. It takes effort to be a good friend. It takes effort to be a good brother. It takes effort to be a good father. It takes effort to be a good partner, husband, boyfriend. It takes a good amount of effort to be a business owner. It's just effort. If you notice, if you can figure out just where to put your effort at, you'll get it figured out. But the thing is, some people just don't know where to put it. Now, everybody's level of intellect is different. You know, some people get passed along or promoted because they can play. That hurts them when they get done, because now you're trying to, it might be a dude with double-digit $1 million and no skill, or no money and no skill. That's a real thing. So I think I covered it. Definitely sit in process. If you feel like you just debilitated and can't move, you probably should go see somebody. You do need to go see somebody, because you'll stay stuck there if you don't. You don't want to be the dude 5-10 years later. Yeah, remember when I played? Yeah, we remember, but dog, that was 5 years ago. So it's time.
But it's a lot of guys that get stuck in that identity of just like, but man, I mean, not even in the league. You got people that like, bro, when I was in high school, bro, I used to X, Y, and Z, or when I was in college. So that is a real thing of being stuck there. The thing is, though, their validation and the level of accomplishment stopped there. Yeah. But our community put such a big deal on being the best athlete. Like, sports is big. Some of our famous leaders in our history have been athletes. So athletes have always been looked up to in a high regard. But man, it's people doing great things and ain't never touched the football, touched the basketball. Man, we used to go to these corporate events and stuff, and we would show up and we talk to them. I'm like, man, bro. He pulled up in the same car we did, and he ain't ran down on a kickoff yet. I'm trying to figure out what he doing, but he using this though. Yeah, he using this, and that's the thing that we got to understand as a people, man. Like, playing sports is cool, bro. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, but y'all know I'm still working on this right now, because I'm working on stuff that I can do that's gonna make money where I can not sit at home, but it's not gonna require a bunch of physical exertion. You know what I mean? And I agree.
You ever seen somebody who had a medical practice for a while, or a successful lawyer or doctor? They eating pretty good, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they might not have been the coolest people, to everybody in their younger years, but man, they look real good when they get older. You know what I'm saying? The nerds be winning. You know what I'm saying?
The nerds are always winning, man.
Yeah, y'all used to be clowning us when I was in science and tech. I'll show y'all some people right now. Man, doing it right now. Yeah. And you'll never know. They walk around the halls, you'll never know.
But that was the beauty, I think, of going to Oxon Hill, because we had the hallways was mixed between the locals and the science and techs, and you couldn't tell, because, I mean, coming from where we come from, you had to still dress the part, look the part, like you still wanted to fit in, but it was so many people that was just like, it made a blend, and that's what I enjoyed about the football team, because it allowed all of us to just put all that aside and come together, but you got to hang in different groups. It was so many different pots I was in.
Yeah.
I was with the hoods. I was with the geeks. I was with the people that live way out of the area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get this melting pot and network of now that helps so much of growing. So I think that, you know what I'm saying, alone is amazing though. That just, you know, coming from the right community, because I was going to tap into, I was reading earlier, like reading earlier, but it came across that, you know, as us in the black community, we only really looking at 3 ways out, which is basketball, football, rapping. Like those are the top, that's the top. And granted, we're changing that more so now, but you know, you look at this younger culture right now, it's, I want to be an influencer. I want to be like, I want to be a podcast host. I want to be, it's not, like you said, going to be a doctor or going to be a mental health, going to be other things that can get there, because we're seeing these are the quote unquote fast ways to the top.
The key word you said was fast. Mm-hmm. Because look, it's funny. I can tell somebody, man, I'm the last person to tell somebody that you can't be an athlete, right? Because look, I did it. So like, I'm kind of proof that you can do both. But the statistics tell you that, bro, this ain't gonna happen. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what the numbers say. Now, it's a few people that's gonna make it, but man, y'all know, like, bro, if I ain't think I was gonna be the one out of everybody that probably could have made it, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't think it was gonna be me. It's just real talk. Now, probably it took for me really my second year in college, and I'm like, man, you know what?
You think you?
Yeah, I can do this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but up until now, man, I wasn't thinking about that. I really wasn't. But that's what, you know, that's the people that's glorified. You know what I'm saying? The athlete, entertainer, the hustler, or, you know, now the influencer, man, because it's quick, bro. But nothing happens like that, man. You know, everybody you see in the league, how many years they played football for free? I mean, they got NIL now, but still, you play for free for a minute. If every basketball played for free for a minute. Every artist probably did shows, was paying, at some point paying to open up at a show before they got famous. And, you know, people on TikTok were looking like idiots for a long time before their content hit.
Oh, sure.
But we got so many people now. We got more people that look dumb on social media now than people who content really hitting. But we got more people dancing in front of the camera right now. I'm like, man, like, whoever thought of these? I never thought that people just be in front of their phone just dancing, dog. Like,
and for some, crazy. It's making it work. And some it's kind of like you're not even doing it right. But some make it's it making work. It's a new, like I said, it's at the top of the list. Some people make it
work, but you know, but look, man, some career field just gonna pay, man, and it's how I think about it now with the introduction to AI. Like AI already Xing out a lot of people, right? You know what I'm saying? Government policy now. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, you know, shrinkage happening at a lot of levels. You know, government, even in private sector, things getting tighter, people losing jobs. Man, you got to position yourself to provide a service and something that's always going to be needed, man. Like, you know, STEM fields always going to be needed. Healthcare always going to be needed. You know, it's other fields too, but that's why I chose mental health. I'm passionate about it, but man, the need for it is increasing, like, especially with people getting laid off. Like, people gonna turn to anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When they're not feeling well or they're going through something. So that's really would be, you know, my advice. I know you ain't even asked that, but just making yourself, you gotta make yourself an asset, man. You gotta make yourself an asset and something that ain't never going away.
So hopping in there, bro, about the mental health space, right? So obviously, you know, my career ended early just because I messed up, bro. I lost my scholarship, right? And I went through that dark place. And so I know you...
I was going to ask you about that, too.
Yeah, man, that drink messed me up, bro. Like, I was...
Let me tell you why he getting his thoughts together.
Nah, I mean...
So, because look, we played... Ramon was starting his freshman year at center.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Came in on Big Dog on canvas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then we played the next year. I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to see Ramon. I'm looking on the scouting report. I'm like, man, where the hell Ramon at, bro? He ain't on the scouting report. So we playing. I'm like, yo, after the game, you know, after the game over, because our schools really hate each other. Mm-hmm. And I asked, like, man, I said, well, Ramon, yeah, man, you know, he ain't on the team no more. I'm like, what? I'm calling him, and he ain't answering the phone neither, too. Mm-hmm. So, at this point, in our 20s, we not thinking about mental health or nothing like that, but we can talk about it now. And, you know, every time we run into each other, we always just talk for a long time. I ran into him. Look, I had a condo. He was coming down the elevator.
Oh, yeah, right on Branch.
Coming out the elevator. And man, when he seen me, it's like his eyes lit up.
Mm-hmm.
He was 340 then. He was like his eyes lit up, but it was just like, bro, like, you know, we just talked. And he's, you know, at that time I learned about what was going on because I ain't know what happened. I ain't know what happened.
Yeah,
like I'll be honest. After playing, he definitely could have played. You definitely could have played center in the league, bro. Like actually, but
that's what Matthews told me too.
Huh?
Coach Matthews told me that too.
Yeah,
Mickey,
you could have.
Yeah,
he's athletic. And you got correct size. You athletic. Yeah, you could have. But it's finding out. Or he can talk about it now, but actually finding out what he was going through now. I don't know what he was doing. I probably about to learn something, but you know, just those things like that is why we gotta tap in because dudes be going through stuff and suffering in silence, man.
So that's it.
They be suffering in silence. They, you know, drinking, you know, watching porn, having sex, you know, doing, you know, hurting themselves. People be cutting, bro. I'm learning all kind of stuff, cutting themselves, all kind of stuff, man. Like people when they at home, don't get it twisted. These people, in y'all offices that y'all going to work with, man. You don't know who getting help, who getting treatment, what they got going on, what kind of medication they on, but they're not gonna talk about it because they don't want to be viewed as such.
Man,
you just don't know.
The scary part about that though, bro, because you spot on. You know what I'm saying? Substance, porn, whatever it is, because it's like. When you in that dark place, bruh, it's so scary, bruh. Because the game made me feel like I was somebody, bruh. Like walking through the hallways with the jersey on, or you play football, or you play basketball. Then you walking on campus and you got the football hoodie on with the sweatsuit. Bro, you special, bruh. And again, whether you stop playing the game once you hit the pro level, and mine was cut short a lot earlier, bro. I was suffering in silence bad, bro. But the scary part though, bro, and I don't know what my mental disability was at that time because I just kind of got through it. But when I got around people like yourself or you, I went right back into character. Because my role in life is, bro, I don't want to bring nobody down. I want to build people back up. So even when I was hurting, it's, oh, what's up, Mod? Everything good? I'm lying, but I'm like, yeah, bro.
I feel that.
Everything good, bro. No, I'm straight. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
We're in the room, having thoughts in my mind. I want to take my life. All this, you know what I'm saying? And it's scary because it's like, that's why I kind of asked that question too early about should a guy stop and process or hop back into something different. But I feel like my abandonment from my childhood, all that.
He already said it.
It just wound.
Yeah, come back.
And I was convinced, oh nah, my life don't mean nothing now. Because the thing that made people think Mod was a somebody was the game. So now when I can't attach myself to the game, it's like,
who am I?
And I didn't know, Jay, for years.
You know, bro, you gotta be careful with that. People, people use that term a lot. You know, isolation is a scary place. Isolation is that's a tool of the devil, bro.
Yes.
You know, people say, yeah, you know, isolation coming for elevation, but really, if you spending time alone in a healthy way, it's really solitude. That's, you know, you and God together. But isolation is just you got no cover and no protection. It's just you. And one thing you ain't gonna do, you're not gonna beat no spiritual attack by yourself. You definitely, if you got all kind of thoughts swirling in your head, you're not gonna win that battle by yourself. The isolation, like you said, it's a dangerous spot to be in. You know, I mean, he just told me he thought had suicidal thoughts.
Sure.
I didn't even know that. So I'm learning now, but it's a tough place to be in. But like I said, in plain sight, especially as men, we don't want to be looked at as being soft. We don't want nobody throwing our vulnerabilities in our face. And, you know, sometimes you can tell somebody something in confidence and they bring it back up. Or, you know, especially, you know, maybe it's your lady or people use it against you. And guys stay silent because of that. But, you know, if you got somebody trusted that you can go to, you should. But it's a lot. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I talk to people, some of the people y'all look at on Sundays and, bruh, going through it. man, I know dudes that made 9-digit millions, 8-digit millions, and going through it, bro.
Yeah.
They still
Like money didn't fix it.
They still regular people. Money don't fix your problems, but like you said, like, he right about everything.
No, I mean, I attest, man. And I think it's more than that, because I mean, like, didn't that, you know what I'm saying, similar college journey where you know, hey, bro, I'm leaving Oxon Hill, I'm getting up out of here, bro, I'm going to go play ball elsewhere, I'm doing this. And that gets cut short, and life starts to, like, you know, hit you a little bit, and now you like, whoa, what am I about to do? And you got to figure out, like, you got to have a moment of like, what am I going to do next? And sometimes that if that drive, that overdrive, that ambition don't kick in right away, you sit. And then right from there, you sitting and you like, it ain't coming together. Yeah. And that's a tough space. And a lot of men go through that, and it's tough because the tough part of having an identity of people seeing you up here and seeing you like at this high level, but in reality, you're really sitting down here, is a tough gap to fill in between.
Yeah.
Like, cause you really trying to like you said, you're going around people. I'm the same way. I don't want to make nobody feel what I'm going through or less or whatever the case is. But in reality, you gotta figure out how to get through it.
Yeah, that's true. Most people, everybody are not the same. True. Like y'all niggas can't hide around me. I can look right at you and tell you what's going on. But not everybody can do that.
Right.
They're not blessed to be able to do that. And some people just don't care. They're like, man, whatever he said he all right. Well, I'm all right. We gonna, they ain't think about it. But again, you haven't played football. You've been in the military. You can figure a way to turn that same work ethic. I'm not working on myself physically, but I'm working on myself internally. I'm working on myself. It's the same, bro. It's the same thing. You just got to figure out how to apply the skill. Yeah, you might not be getting stronger or faster, but my spirit getting stronger. Ooh. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, my technique and tools to regulate myself. Because look, somebody might have a diagnosis or something like that or be struggling. You aren't what you suffering with. You just having a season there. You having a season there, and you're dealing with that in that moment. So somebody said, man, you know, I'm an anxious person. No, you're not an anxious person. I'm just dealing with anxiety right now. You know what I mean? You don't become the problem. You're not the problem. You just dealing with that at the moment.
Disassociate yourself from it.
So you just have to find a way the same when you was in basic training, or you know, when you was doing drills or running exercises with your people. let me do that. Pause with myself. You know what I'm saying? Let me figure out how to work on me. It's the same thing. The quicker people it takes a little bit of, you know, it's not sexy. It doesn't make you feel good. It's kind of like a brute force, like mind switch, but never underestimate the power of a changed mind, bro, or sound decision.
We touched a little bit on, like, as a man, you don't want to feel vulnerable. You don't want to feel looked at as weak and things like that. Obviously, mental health and all of that is being talked about and thrown around now. But let's talk about, like, that struggle, because as men, one, not having the resources is one thing, but even having the resources, actually having that moment of, I need to actually seek help and going to seek help and not feeling a certain way. Because don't get me wrong, bro. First time I went to therapy, I don't know if you've been to therapy yourself, but the first time I went to therapy, bro, I was in that joint like, hey, Slim, why am I crying like this?
Nah, you talking real, bro.
And you really trying to hold it together, but it's because it's so built up. It's so much built up trauma.
Because you needed to.
Exactly. I agree. But let's talk about the stigma of, you know, mental health and just just not being a manly thing.
I look at it like this, man. Manly, feminine, whatever. Man, you need to look at it as outcomes. You've been living your life whatever way, and you ain't getting no results. If I continue to operate in this manner, if I continue to hide from everybody, if I continue to lie to myself like I'm good and I'm not, just had that moment like, what am I doing? I mean, that works for me, and I know that's kind of like shoot somebody straight between the eyes, but sometimes you have to learn to look at it that way And my deliveries got much better because y'all know I used to be straight. Yeah,
nah, that's how
you gotta put your new cap on because you can't be working with clients like that.
I used to cuss at you with love and all that type of stuff, but you know, you gotta look at outcomes for real. Are my actions getting the results that I want? Probably not. And if you don't do anything about it, you're gonna keep be in the same cycle. You're gonna relive the same reality over until you decide. You know, I did a keynote speech. My first one I did, Morehouse School of Medicine. They did a health fair.
Nice.
This was last year. They did a health fair. East Point. It's like right south of Atlanta. Like Community Health Day, and I gave a mental health advocacy speech, and I said something. I just kind of came up with it, but you know, it's a black and white decision to work on the gray areas of your life. You got to choose. Can't nobody make you do it. You can't drag people along across the finish line, because if you drag them across the finish line, they don't want to go. As soon as they, you know, trigger to get that feeling, gonna run right back. You can't drag them, but you gotta make it's either you gonna work on it or you not. Now, the things that happen to us as people, you know what I mean, it's some things we can't account for. Like, I ain't, you know, I can tell you the story when I found out when my dad had, you know, stage 4 with the lung cancer. I'm in Indy. I'm gonna be honest. I'm in Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying? John came from out of town. I'm at the movies. I walk in the door. My phone rang during the movie. I ain't answer it. And then probably when I got home, my dad called me again and told me, son, I went to the doctor and they told me I had stage 4 cancer. I said, let me call her back real quick. And the girl, she ain't know. She like, I don't even remember the girl name, but like it happened like that. It can't nobody, you know, if your pops ain't show up, that ain't your fault. You know what I'm saying? You know, the things that happen, it's not your fault, but you got to make a decision. It's on you to work on it, though. You know what I mean? Things happen to everybody, some fortunate, some unfortunate, but you have to make that decision on your own to not really, you know, not saying being a victim for yourself, but yeah, you got to make a decision not to be a victim, bro. Yeah. You have to commit. You got to commit. You know, to be cooperative in your own healing process. You got to commit to yourself. Yeah, you have to. And that's the hard part, right? Because that road ugly, right? But you know, you gotta look right at your demons, and you gotta, as my college coach used to say, run to the roar. But he's talking about, you know, the lion, right? Oh. So you gotta run to the roar, and you gotta go right at it. And the first time you do that, the second time gets a little bit better. Third time gets a little bit better. Then, you know, if you're a worker, if you're real, you're like, all right, man, I'm starting to, first of all, like getting all this stuff off me, right? And now I'm learning some tools because the triggers don't go away, because people just now, you trigger me. Like, man, look, stuff's still gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Stuff's still gonna happen. It's the process of learning things that you can do to navigate through the tough situations. So everybody just, he's triggering me, or bro, she's like, man, you can't live there, bro. Life gonna go on. Somebody gonna do something to make you think about something in the past. You know, somebody can walk through. All our dads, well, I'm not sure if your dad's living that, but if he's not there, he can be alive and still dead to you. Somebody can walk in with their pops, and all of us will feel some kind of way. But you still gotta find a way. You gotta find a way to deal with it, right? You can't get mad and want to walk out because a nigga walked in his fault. It ain't his fault, you know. Or you might have had a bad, whatever your situation is. That's when you really work to find the skills to navigate through those things, so you're not staying stuck in that as a kid or in that mentality or in that event, because then you really
and I'm just holding you back. Ma, I was gonna ask you. I mean, I know you went through a transition and going through therapy. Like, for you, what would you say as far as like the tough, you know, the stigma, and then just your experience of finally saying, you know what, bruh, I need this more than anybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, bruh. I thought I didn't need it, and my mentor was like, "No, bruh, go." And I was like, nah. He's like, nah, you need to go. Trust me. And when I went into it, like, what was it? I used BetterHelp.
Same. I use BetterHelp. Yeah.
Went on that joint, and so for me, you know what I'm saying, just being real, like, I didn't want to be coached. I kind of wanted like that grandma love. I want to pour out my heart type thing. So I specifically chose an elderly black woman.
Okay.
I needed auntie vibes, right? And when I got in there, the weirdest thing, because you were talking on some good stuff, bro, about how do we fight off those triggers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there's been a defensive lineman, when our hands get on the inside, some people may say, he probably like, ain't nobody hands getting inside of here, bro.
I mean, you know about me. You know what's up. They know, they know, ask your boy Mickey. He know what's up.
But it's now what I learned, bro, is I learned how to almost anticipate triggers. Where before you can get your hands on me, and one thing that helped me in my therapy session was, it's so weird, bro. That's why I first started using affirmations. She was like, Ramad, sit down and just write positive stuff about yourself. Talk to yourself better. And I was just like, man, that's kind of weird. She's like, nah, let's say it out loud. So I'm on a Zoom joint with her, and I'm saying stuff out loud. She said, now practice this. Whenever you start to feel like this, say, you know what? I am valuable. My life does matter. I will be successful. And so what she was teaching me how to do was, like, in spite of how my circumstances are right now, no. You're not defining yourself based upon what you're going through. You're deciding yourself based upon your full potential. And she was like, remind yourself of, bruh, it was the weirdest thing ever, bruh. But after like a couple weeks, those anxieties, those little depressions that kicked in, bruh, I started saying stuff out loud, like how you just use disassociating yourself from certain emotions. Yeah. I started saying that joint, bruh, and it was working. And I was like, God.
You know what's crazy?
That's good.
Everybody know the Bible talk about the power of the tongue, but sometimes we forget about it when we talking to ourselves, don't we?
That's very important,
brother.
Yeah, you forget because your emotions involved. But you gotta stay obedient to the word and to yourself, even when you're feeling bad. So
life and death is in it. And going right where you at, bro, I learned, and I still practice this to this day. It almost has become habitual, where it's like, little thoughts cross my mind that can cause my mood to shift. And I just say something out loud. You know what I'm saying? And I start, really speaking life to myself.
I agree.
Because, and we kind of talked about this one time, bro. It's like, I'm talking to y'all and whoever the listeners are. But being, I guess, in tune with the conversations that I'm having within my mind and in my heart, that's what she taught me in therapy. So again, one of the tactics, I know some people might be against therapy and all that, bro, but you get the right therapist. That's another one.
Yeah.
So, all right, last thing I'm going to say, bro, is I've also seen where people who went to therapy, but they weren't relatable.
I would say they got the wrong therapist.
Gave up on it altogether.
One thing I'm learning, client relationship is huge. It's a lot of different techniques and theories out there, but the majority of them, which you didn't know, I bet when you talk to whoever your therapist was,
Dr. Elizabeth,
she lets you tell your story. She's real empathetic with you.
Yep,
that's called person-centered therapy. Yeah, so that was developed by Carl Rogers, and he said empathy is the most important thing in the client-therapist relationship. But I like it because it gives people to tell their story. It gives people a space to tell their story. It's like the therapist, you dance, they ingratiate themselves all the way in your story, make it feel like you walking with them, but you just kind of got to be able to jump out because you can't be all in it because it's like, not conflict of interest, but it's your story. It ain't mine. I'm the therapist. You know what I mean? You still want to keep the professional boundaries there, but she allows you to tell your story. That's actually one of the ones I like because especially when people, somebody has to make you vulnerable enough, or you can trust your therapist enough where you can talk. People can go to school, but if you can't relate to nobody, bro, you're going to have a tough time keeping clients, bro, because if they don't feel like they trust you or they can't talk to you, they not gonna open up. They gonna go find somebody else. But if somebody has had a bad experience with therapy, it's just like, why you quit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like when people who got church hurt, like, oh, I went to a bad church. Well, they got another one around the corner.
Right.
You had a bad relationship. You ain't stop booking Jones. Getting the girl's number. You ain't stop having sex. Like, why? It was a tough thing for them to do, and it didn't work out. So it kind of gave them the validation not to do it no more because they really didn't want to do it anyway. Mm-hmm. But we got food poisoning. We still eat.
True.
We just stuff happen all the time. We still keep going back. But I would say, man, if you had a bad experience, they got. I haven't used BetterHelp, but I found mine years back was on psychologytoday.com.
Okay.
And you can search by you want regular counseling, Christian counseling, whatever you identify as, Black, LGBTQ, whatever your preference is, you can find that. You can find on their website.
So, man, Sean, well, I know you, Jay. Did you, when you went through your process, was it a love at first type?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, luckily for me, I've heard the bad stories that people go to like therapy and they have a bad connection. And luckily for me, my connection was right on. I picked a male therapist, a male Black therapist, and it really helped. Like he was everything that you're saying, empathetic, heard the story, but also just helped me identify the real triggers behind everything. Because a lot of times you're going to therapy thinking about the things that triggered you recently or the big things that triggered you in the past, but not all the things that built up that really are the cause and effect of that you really gotta unpack and get through so that way we can really, let's get to the root of this so we can know what's going on. So luckily for me, like I said, I was blessed to get that good experience and things like that, but I have heard the stories that people like, yeah, my first time or my second time wasn't great, and they just like, bro, I ain't rocking with it no more.
It's some, it's like anything else, man. It's some good professionals out there. It's some that's not. Like, you got some good doctors and you got some doctors that got all the insurance claims on them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. But it's good for somebody to allow you to tell your story enough to get you to where, things that happened then that's kind of led you to where you are now. But after y'all told y'all story, the biggest thing is to give you some tools now to move forward. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want to like some. I'm getting too deep, but there's certain techniques and theories that just focus on you right now to how to operate better. Like, let's forget about what you went through then. Let's talk about right now. Let's work on these tools. Let's give you a game plan. Let's give you a plan of action about how you can move forward right now. But man, if you don't figure out how they got there, if you don't figure out how they got to this point, it's kind of null and void. And at the same time, now some therapists, if you just want to come sit there and vent and you paying your money, they gonna keep booking you because it's a business. But if they really vested and interested in your progress, you gotta move forward from the things that happened in the past, or go back just to highlight something that's happening right now. So it's really like it's really like the choreographed dance between the client and the therapist.
And the therapist, yes.
All right, so we're gonna jump out of there just a little bit.
Okay.
I mean,
you about to cry? You about to cry again?
Yeah, man. Nah, man. I mean, I'm glad that this was, it was a great conversation in the space of mental health because it's something that is not talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it needs to be open in conversation and more relaxed of a conversation to make it more of a conversation amongst the bros.
True.
So others can feel like it's cool to go. You know what I'm saying? Because once it's a trending thing, hey, it's Don Julio.
Yeah, it's cool and that's that's kind of at some points that's where we are right now. It's just cool to go, but what's cool is making progress.
True.
Progress is cool. We gotta now the stigma there's no stigma. It's cool. Like, hey, somebody say I'm going to see somebody. All right, nobody gonna say you crazy or nothing like that. You got some people that's just not gonna go, but nobody looking at you funny now. If you saying you going to therapy, like, you know, I had conversations with dudes. They're like, man, you know, everybody, man, what you doing now? And I tell them, boy, I tell a middle, you know, millennial, older black dude I'm working in mental health. Man, it's like a way. Oh yeah, man, you know, because it's needed, and then they just start talking. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's been such a stigma, like you said, such a thing behind it, where it was like, oh, if you doing that, like you really must be off your rocker.
Yeah, it's gone now, but now, you know, when we want to be excited about making progress now, so we going. It's no stigma.
Continuously going.
Yeah, we going and we continuously going, but now let's fix it. Let's get right so we can get our community back together.
Amen. I love that. Yeah. I love that. So last thing I want to ask, before we, you know, try to get up out of here, what is like, all right, you say people are scared to try new things, i.e. therapy and things like that, but even away from therapy and something as, you know, mental health, what's one thing you tried that made you second guess yourself, like really, really heavy?
Not many. A lot. Man, most of the stuff I do, I see mentorship, but I just go and I kind of learn along the way.
Okay.
Like,
give us something.
Opening this clinic was one. It's been a journey. You know, we had some snafus, some policy changes. You know, a lot of stuff happened that slowed me up. Man, getting a doctorate, you know, the healthcare administration thing, I'm like, bro, what am I doing right now? But I'm just going, you know, even the whole process leading up to the draft, like you in it, but I don't ever take those moments to actually sit back and look back like, what the hell I was doing? What was I doing? Like, it's people like, man, you got to be more present. You got to kind of, you know, my therapist.
Take the moment.
My therapist like, Lawrence, you just gotta learn how to. You gotta be more present in the moment. And I'm doing that. So, man, everything that we talk about today is like, I just be going. I don't think about it. I get it. I haven't thought about none of it. Like, I thought about it and I just went, and now, like, hold up, bro, I'm really trying to do.
Trust me.
Fill in the blank. Whatever it is, fill in the blank. It's probably going to be something else after this. So that y'all can be like, man, that's Lawrence doing this. And I'm be like, yeah, I ain't thinking about it. I just went.
I'm the same way, though. Like, you're just an action taker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the same way where if I see it, I'm going to do it. Hey.
Both of y'all.
Hey, sign me up. Let's do it. Matter of fact, and figure it out on the way. And you just like, time. And then you get in with 2, 3, 4 things and you like.
My dog Bolo.
Hey, I have signed one too many papers for that one. Not yet. Not yet. But hey, that will be another topic. Matter of fact, with that, man, we about to get out of here. Wow, dude. Now, hey, at some point, Bolo was it Bola?
What do you say?
Bolo? I don't know. Like, you watched it. I wasn't.
Nah, man. He knew
one day
man.
it's going. And by the time this come out, it's gonna make sense.
Hey,
he said my new name Bolo.
You know, Haney was calling the stick. His name Bolo now.
That's not even an inside joke. That's a fully public joke, and people get it.
Yeah.
You know, Bolo. This man called me and said, "Hey, so you out there like Bolo, huh?"
Wow, bro. Hey,
it'll make sense, man. But hey, once again, man, I want to say thank you for coming out, dog. I think we've blessed the people with some good conversation, good insight, man. Obviously, your story is amazing just in itself, but what you're doing now in the community to give back and to help, you know what I'm saying, further us along, even if it's 1%, it's still getting us further than we were, you know what I'm saying, the time before. So I want to commend you and congratulate you on what you're doing and support you and say, bro, like, continue to lead the pack, continue to push forward.
Y'all already know what's up.
And what you know what I'm saying, even what you're doing as far as just in the mental health space, because it is something that is needed for our community, for our people, our men.
Yeah.
In general, women too. That's
who I really want to go at the most. That's what I'm here for, man. Like, it ain't enough for us, so that's priority number one.
For sure. Anything you want to close out with?
I got some home. Shameless plug time. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Lawrence Sidbury Jr. Go to my website, personal coaching, keynote speeches, and just to find out more about me, LawrenceSidburyJr.com.
Yes, sir.
Love that.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that. Hey, we can wrap out with that, man. Don't worry. It's the icon going to come up at the end.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
gonna
hold on. Last thing, too. Bro, you said something about suicide earlier. 988 text line and suicide telephone line. So if you feel like you have some type of thoughts or, doing harm to yourself, you can call or you can text 988.
Get that again, man. Get that. We're going to put that on the screen.
Yeah, 988 is National Suicide Telephone and Text Line. You can text if you feel like you can't talk. If you feel like you can't call, you can text. And if you're good enough to talk, you can call, dial 988, and then somebody answer.
Love that, man. Hey, that's what Friendship is Flow is about, man. We are a broad podcast that talks about a lot of topics, but we're going to cover everything that friends need to talk about, man. So appreciate you coming through. There we go. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. And, hey, that's another episode of Friendship and Flow, man. Stay tuned.
Let's go. I stay fit head to toe. I'm knocking down all of my goals. I'm a young
What, the water?
Nah.
Wow. That might.
Oh, what?
I respect
When
it.
they swallow on camera, it's loud.
Let's